Hey guys, welcome to Jae Explains, the 2017 New Jersey's governor's race. I'm Jay, and for the last 6 years, I have been waiting, anticipating, and salivating at the moment we got to vote to replace Governor Chris Christie. I'm not even kidding. I've loathed him long before his poll numbers took a nosedive. His terrible budgets, playing with the pensions, selling public entities, hardline stance on the drug war, and his overall arrogant demeanor and unpleasant attitude turned me off long before he announced his candidacy for president.
If what you want to do is put on a show and giggle every time I talk, well then I have no interest in answering your question. And let me tell you something. After you graduate from law school, you conduct yourself like that in the courtroom, your rear end's going to get thrown in jail, idiot. You know, Tom, you must be the thinnest skinned guy in America. Because you think that's a confrontational tone, then, you should really see me when I'm pissed.
Hey, Gail, you know what? First off, it's none of your business.
This is just another hack who wants 5 minutes on TV. And it's completely irresponsible. Completely irresponsible. If she wants to get on a plane and come here to New Jersey and ask me if she wants to examine me and review my medical history, I'll have a conversation with her about that. Until that time, she should shut up.
You know, something may go down tonight, but it ain't going to be jobs, sweetheart.
Did I say on topic? Are you stupid? On topic. On topic. Next question. Good. Thank you all very much, and I'm sorry for the idiot over there. Take care.
You're a real big shot. You're a real big shot. Shut your mouth off.
His re-election was a cakewalk. Republicans and Democrats were singing his praises and endorsing him left and right. Then came Bridgegate and the presidential primaries where Trump slam danced him. Either way, it's out with the old and in with the new. On June 6th is the primaries. Here in New Jersey, we have closed primaries, meaning you have to be party affiliated in order to participate. As an urban resident, there really isn't much of a choice. Of course, I'm a registered Democrat. This is the Democratic primary, meaning everyone is touting their progressive credentials. Marijuana legalization, $15 minimum wage, climate change. Their general rhetoric is all very similar. And I don't particularly care for campaign talking points because it's a whole lot of telling me what I want to hear. So what I'm looking for is authenticity. Anybody in position to seriously run for governor is more than likely incapable of truly understanding the struggles of urban life. And no matter how much pandering they do when they win our votes, good luck seeing them 3 years. And that's if they get elected. And ever again if they lose. So, you may be asking yourself, Jay, why even vote? I'm not telling you to. I'm not your daddy, and this is America. You have the right to do whatever you want. But for me, personally, slavery, Alchemist, Martin Luther King, take your pick. Better than nothing, right? So, let's check out these candidates. First up, we got the fighter, Senator Ray Lesniak. I'm going to be honest, I love this guy. He's gone after Christie's Exxon settlement. I know you remember this. The state settled for $225 million when the estimated damage was worth $2.5 billion. That's ridiculous. And Senator Lesniak has fought that tooth and nail, along with fighting for animal rights, and he has years of progressive legislative work in the state Senate. He's an LGBTQ champion and a fighter extraordinaire. Senator Lesniak is a man to be respected. Unfortunately, he doesn't seem to have the necessary momentum to overtake the frontrunner. Next up, we got the token, Jim Johnson. I really hope that that's not coming off as offensive. It's not, but he's a Harvard-educated lawyer, former assistant U.S. attorney. He's chaired a lot of boards, but look, New Jersey will one day have a black governor, but it's just not going to be this guy. I don't mean to sound like a jerk, but we're not there yet as a state. We are very, very divided. Like, the lines are very, very clearly drawn. And I'm not saying that any individual person is racist. I'm not throwing that accusation out there, but together, collectively, we're not there yet. I mean, if you want to argue that we are, then by all means. That's what the comments section is for. Please, come back on June 7th and rub it in my face. I'll happily be wrong about this. The long shot, John Wisniewski. The Bridgegate investigation, that was him. Christie was never going to be prosecuted, but it did bring light to plenty of flaws within the state government. A long career in the state assembly and the victim of the establishment during the 2016 presidential election, in terms of New Jersey politics, he is the Bernie Sanders position because he's the one that the establishment doesn't want. Which brings us to the frontrunner. It's former Ambassador Phil Murphy. Did you get the mailers? Have you seen the endorsements? Have you watched the commercials and heard the stories? Phil Murphy has saturated the state for over a year, getting his message out there, which is much easier when you have $15 million to loan your campaign. Baller! He spent forever and a day as an executive at Goldman Sachs and was the top fundraiser for the Democratic National Committee. Mayor Voss recently asked me, how is he establishment if he has never been elected? I don't know how you can be any more establishment. He touts names like Howard Dean and Al Gore to bolster his progressive cred, but those names cashed out years ago on the national level. I watched as rather large names in New Jersey politics, such as Steve Fulop and Steve Sweeney and others, just fall in line like the greatest game of Tetris ever. The counties are his, the bosses, the underbosses, capos, muscles, lieutenant, field teams, they are all in position. But it just strikes a familiar tone with John Corzine, and the air of confidence is very reminiscent of Hillary Clinton. So just like I said then, I repeat now, I sure hope you know what you're doing. Oh yeah, here's some fun from the debate.
Murphy?
Phil
Murphy.
When I ask Phil, you do know that closing corporate tax loophole bill is my legislation, correct?
Murphy is a former ambassador to Germany and executive of Goldman Sachs. He's doubled the spending of all the other candidates combined. Elect says $15 million from his own pocket to his campaign.
We have a candidate who has made the system awash in money. It's an obscene amount of money. $1.5 million alone to county chairs. And mysteriously, every single one of them have given the nomination, given the line in that county to Phil Murphy. It's pay to play at its worst.
I haven't bought any county chairs, with all due respect. I am proud of the endorsements we have.
You had made donations both before the endorsements and after them. And if you look at the schedule of endorsements, it's really pretty clear that there were cleanup payments.
The people who showed up at these conventions are good Democrats. They're good progressives. They want a better New Jersey.
You're invested in companies that produce the fracking fluid that contaminates water. How can you really expect the people of New Jersey to believe your environmental credentials when your financial portfolio takes a different position than you've taken publicly here in the campaign?
There's probably no good answer in terms of those investments. I will say this, that I helped bring together one of the premier sustainable investment firms in the world.
What is it in your time at Goldman Sachs that should give anyone any assurance that the progressive values you're talking about today are progressive values that you've acted on at Goldman Sachs, particularly when it relates to foreclosure?
Yeah, I left Goldman Sachs in 2003, but I want to put that aside for a minute. I don't need to be, I appreciate it, Jim. I don't want anybody lecturing me about progressive values.
But Lesniak hammered away, saying while at Goldman Sachs, Murphy took part in drafting the mortgage lending practices that led to millions of Americans losing their homes.
The question is, how can you run for governor with a record like that?
Ray, with all due respect, again, it's a pesky little detail. I was long gone from Goldman when this crisis either built up or fell apart.
Four Democrats who qualified for matching funds to enter the debate agreed to end park testing, offered ideas on properly funding schools, and poo-pooed Governor Christie's plan to divert lottery proceeds to the pension system.
So guys, thanks for watching. If you like what I do here, check out the Patreon. Like, comment, subscribe, and or share. Look, it's your vote. Do with it what you like. I still think you're awesome. Until the next video, take care of yourselves and each other.